we have the pleasure of having our very own Attorney General, the Honourable Garth Wilkins, to tell us all about the Office of the Attorney General and its function. Good morning, Mr. Wilkins, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure indeed, and congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you.
Yeah, indeed. So what is the function of the Attorney General?
You have all day?
No, but we have some time.
You know, just to start off, when I took up the appointment, I had a conversation with a former minister who said to me, Garth, you know what you're getting into? I said, what do you mean? He said, you know, the Attorney General really is the engine of government. And I found out in the 3 short months that I've been in office that it is true. The Attorney General, by definition, is the legal advisor to the government.
Okay.
Most things that government does has to be vetted for legality first. So that is why that concept of engine of the government is so accurate, because almost anything that needs to be done in government has to come to the Attorney General's office for sign-off, basically. You know, contracts, any opinions, any claims, any constitutional matters, all of that comes to the office of the Attorney General to then relay back or send it back to the different ministries and the different ministers. In addition to sitting in cabinet and then cabinet decisions, if there are any legal issues that arise, I have to advise cabinet on those issues.
It's a lot.
Right. So, given what you've said so far in office, it's been a whirlwind 3 months. I imagine.
Yes.
Indeed. Can we say that the Attorney General's office also serves to protect the people in one way or the other?
Yes. The different departments within the ministry. So let's separate it. There's the Office of the Attorney General, the Attorney General's office, and then there's the Ministry of Justice and Legal Affairs. So I basically wear 2 hats. But I think when people hear Attorney General, they think of both. So I think it's only fair that people know about both. So within the ministry, there is the Department of Legal Aid, which is the department where persons who can't necessarily afford to go to a private lawyer can then get legal assistance. There is the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The Director of Public Prosecution has constitutional power to determine whether to proceed with criminal matters or to withdraw criminal matters, etc. That has an office, lawyers, staff, etc. So we are responsible for the administration of that office. So directly to your question, Jamie, those people they represent the people, protect them against criminals. So that might be the most direct office that protects the citizenry. Then you have the High Court, you have the registrar, the acting registrar on before me. You have the land registry, where people get title, so we're responsible administratively for that. We have the Magistrates Court, which we are administratively responsible for. We also work with the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court to administer the High Court. And then we have the Attorney General's office, where we deal with all suits against the government. So if you want to sue the government for anything, for example, you're on a main road and you trip and fall, and you believe that is an issue that the government has created, you sue the Attorney General. You don't sue, it's not Jamie Morris against the street, or Jamie Morris or Jamie Morris against a particular officer. Even though you could name the officer, you have to file a suit against the Attorney General. So we deal with all of those matters, civil matters. We also deal with the marriage process. So the marriage process starts at our chambers and then goes, the permission basically is issued, person gets married, then they get the license from the registry of marriages. We also deal with crown grants. So if you're buying land from the government, whether it's NHC or, not NHC, but NHC is a separate entity. But if you're buying land from the lands department, or you issued any land from the government, we vet the crown grants and send them to the Governor General for signature, etc. We do MLATs, which is mutual legal assistance matters. What happens is there's a treaty between countries where if there's some sort of criminal prosecution or intended investigation or prosecution in another country, or if we want to investigate a crime here and we need assistance or evidence from another country. For example, if there's wire fraud or money laundering that happens in another country, the person here has committed a criminal offense, we can send what you call an MLAT request to another government to ask them for the evidence so that we can then give that evidence to the police and the director of public prosecution to decide whether to prosecute. So we are the agency responsible for that as well. So we do a lot of different things. We juggle many different things in the Ministry of Justice and Legal Affairs as well as the Attorney General's office. I hope that gives you a fair overview. That is why I have a few more gray hairs in 3 months than I did when I started. You see,
I don't see a thing.
Jamie and I were in class together at Bass State High School.
That
You know.
I
Look how
know.
much younger than me he
Oh
looks.
boy, please.
Remember those days,
Yes,
Jamie?
of course I do. Of course I do.
The good old days.
Yes.
The good old
Yeah,
days.
the good old days.
Yeah.
So, Garth, I see that you you studied civil engineering and then you went into litigation. It is the riskiest, most demanding, most thankless practice. Tell me if I'm wrong. There
thankless
is.
for sure.
What drove you to that specific area of law?
It's a long story, but I'll give you the condensed version. Jamie and I were very good at maths in Bass State High School, right? So naturally, I liked homes and stuff. I became a civil engineer. That's the shortened version, because I was good at maths, like Jamie. And while I was there, I did a law course in civil engineering, because a civil engineer is a project manager.
Yes.
So as a project manager, you have to interact intimately with construction contracts.
Yes.
I said, wow, I really like that course. So when I came home, I started working as a civil engineer, and then it was like an itch. I was young still. I said, you know what, let me apply to law school. Let me see what it's like. My mother happened to be living in Barbados at the time, so it was an expensive venture. So I said, well, I live with my mother, I'll see what it's like for a semester. I got accepted, loved it. And what I loved even more in it was advocacy.
Okay.
I love to advocate. I love to argue my client's case, even in school. So I was a mooter.
Yeah.
And mooting is like fake court.
Fake court.
Kind of like debating, but in a court setting.
Yes.
And I did that throughout, and I was in competitions. I went to Washington, D.C., representing UE at an international law mooting competition, the biggest in the world. And when I was in law school, I went to the Margaret Fort, which is the biggest competition among the law schools. Trinidad, Bahamas, Jamaica. So I represented Norman Manley Law School in that. So I just loved advocacy. I came home and I said, you know what, because the government paid for my economic fees, which they do for law students and many other students who go to UE, I want to give back.
Nice.
So I went to the AG at the time, the Attorney General at the time, Patrice Nisbet, and I said, I want to give back. This is my skill set. I've been trained at a high level in law school in advocacy. So I want to prosecute. He said, sure, we need assistance in the DPP's office. You have been trained. So I literally, I came home in May. I was prosecuting cases in November on my own.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I got called to the bar in October. So I just kind of used the training that I had and we jumped in, and I love the criminal court. That's one thing I do miss. I did that for 3 years and I miss it now. That is where you get to test out your skills, because you have to think on your feet. Everything is sudden, and you have to use your brain. You have to think quickly. You have to know what to say. You're dealing with a jury, so you're not dealing with just a judge. You're trying to convince your peers, your bankers, your government work, civil service, different people in your society that, listen, this person has committed this offense.
Yes.
So I enjoyed doing that, and I enjoyed the criminal court. Then I enjoyed the civil court. So that's what I did before I became Attorney General. And it's hectic, it's thankless, long nights. Wake up, whenever I had a trial, I would wake up maybe like 4:35 just to prepare, because there's so many different elements of court litigation that you have to, I'll never forget my aunt, who I practice with. She told me that her father, who started the practice, always said to her, it's all about the facts. You have to know your facts inside out, because if you don't know your facts inside out, you're exposed at trial. So I always used to make sure in the morning I reread everything, so it was fresh in my mind. I'm only human. I don't have a superhuman brain, so I have to, keep doing that over and over. And one of my first couple of cases one was a friend, and one was a differently abled person. I was able to help them. Fresh out of law school, one of my first set of civil cases, and it felt good. It
was rewarding.
It was rewarding internally to them as well, because they were awarded money and so forth, and they got vindication and justice. So after that, I just was like, this is what I love.
We're going to hijack the conversation now, because obviously we go way back.
Way back.
Way back. I was telling Cortezio during the break, and I've alluded to it before here on the show, that back when we were in high school, there was a group of us who used to play hand tennis at the back of 4G1 at the Bassett High School.
Yeah.
And I think the deputy principal at the time, Mr. Waylon Vaughn, used to come and join us. Remember those days?
Yes, Mr. Vaughn played with us a few times. Yes. Those are fun days, right?
Absolutely.
I wonder if kids in high school have as much fun as we did.
No. Maybe they do. Maybe they do, because they have more devices. So maybe that's their fun.
Chad, Milan, Cremoy, James, Kareem. You would, any break you get, you see Milan take off his shirt, take all his vest, and some serious hand tennis. Listen, serious hand tennis. The only thing we didn't do is bet. We didn't have any money. We just, but it was bragging rights.
No money.
Johan was there too. Can't forget Johan.
Yes, Johan Atterbury.
So what do you do to distress now? Obviously, because this is a very, is it the same type of vibe?
I don't play hand tennis anymore. I would love to, actually. Those memories, and then knowing what's going on at the anyway.
No, but that's valid. Absolutely.
Just those, you high school is where you kind of build your personality, you become an adult. And we have, all of those guys, Jevon, Stevie, Dario, you had all those guys, we're still friends, Damiel.
Yes.
All of us still have a group. So that's one of the things I do. I always, every day, we have a group chat with my core friends from high school. And we laugh about things, and we reminisce on things and stuff like that. So that is a good distressor. They're probably upset with me because I'm not as active in the group as I used to be. But I still, that when I want to distress, I just pick up my phone, go into the group, and it's something fun that we're talking about. I play tennis still.
Nice.
I used to play a lot. Until August 15th, I used to play at least 3 times a week. Yeah. I played a tournament in September, the national tournament, but I wasn't very good because I hadn't practiced much in August and so forth. So that's my distressor. One of my friends messaged me this morning and said, let's play today. So I hope to find the time to do that. It's important to have a balance. Then I spend as much time as I can with my kids and my wife. I try to go home as early as I can. So what I'll do is I'll go home before they go to bed, spend time with them, and then maybe I will start work at like 8:30. I work till like 11, 12. That's just home on the laptop, responding to emails, because Jamie, I mean, the amount of emails I get daily, and I hate to have a full inbox. So I would kind of stagger my days like that just to have sanity, and I make sure I sleep.
Okay. So does the Attorney General, let me put it that way.
Is fine.
Do you have a spa day?
No.
Oh.
I did, thinking maybe in September.
Oh, okay.
My wife arranged for me to have a massage, which was good. But I don't have a regular
you don't have
self-care regime, as they call it.
Okay.
I should add that. I mean.
Okay.
Well, she'll know what to get you if she's watching you right now.
Yeah,
So.
Yes. If any Christmas presents, just give me that spa receipt.
Okay. All right. You heard it here first.
Oh, come on.
So what do you hope to accomplish during your tenure as Attorney General?
Okay. Professionalizing the office.
Okay.
So, for example, we have a meeting today to learn about a new technology, to kind of structure our filing and our tasks so that everybody's on the same page in the office. So that's goal number 1.
Okay.
Right? Particularly Attorney General's chambers. So that's the legal office. I want to professionalize it so that when I'm gone, whenever that is, there is a structure.
Yes.
Because structures survive people.
Indeed.
structure
right.
survive people. So you don't want there to just be some random change every time a new person leads an office. Good governance, when it's federally, Prime Minister has charged me with that. So I have crafted with my team of my parliamentary drafting team, we've crafted a new Anti-Corruption Act. We have amended the Integrity in Public Life Act. We're working to finalize the Freedom of Information Act. And then we're going to do the procurement, the Contract Procurement Act, so that we can strengthen that legislative framework to deal with good governance and actually bring real good governance to the government. Structure, as I said. You see, structure survives people. Because yes, Icapacities Acts, and yes, a new government might be able to strike them down, but what are the people going to say if they strike it down? So it's important to put those structures in place, which is for the benefit of everyone. Right? You know.
Absolutely right.
So that's what I want. Those are my two main goals. I'll start thinking about other goals as I go along, but I believe in focus. So other than the work that I'm doing generally, transparency as well. I don't know if you realize that I started a special Facebook page, Instagram page, Twitter page, just to let people know what the office is doing, to get press releases disseminated directly, you know, so there's no lag, so people are aware of the work that the Office of the Attorney General does. I think people weren't sure. There's kind of some office that's kind of sat in the background, which is fine. But if you want to be a transparent and accountable government, you need to let people know what is going on, because it's their business. It's the people's business.
I like that.
Absolutely right. I'm in awe of the fact that when we look at the structure of the National Assembly, we see a lot of our peers there.
Yes, that's what a lot of people are saying.
Yes.
People never used to watch because it wasn't their peers.
Yeah.
Just the senior guys.
Yeah.
No offense to the senior guys. They've gotten us that far.
Yeah. There's a need for everyone. But I've heard that, Jamie.
Yeah.
People have said, you know, it's good to see people you know in these places making laws.
Absolutely right. Because I think that you know our collective experiences would inform some of what you do as well. Because there's that sense of representation.
Yes.
I would imagine that's there as well. One final question to you, Mr. AG, and this is: how do you hope to impact the office of the AG and the attorneys who serve under you?
I hope to inspire them to want to do their best. My mother, who has been a leader for many, many, many years, has always told me the best leader is who can inspire the best in the team. Because you cannot be successful unless everyone is brought up. Everyone is working at their maximum potential. Everyone, they're round pegs in round holes. So I just want to inspire people and create structures and an environment where they can succeed and they can be the best people, best professionals. Because I'm dealing with a lot of professionals. You know, they're lawyers.
That's true.
You know, lawyers. The Solicitor General is a former magistrate, a senior lawyer. So I lean on her a lot. You know what I mean? So I just want, especially the younger lawyers, there was almost a sense of, just 9 to 5. As a lawyer, you can't be 9 to 5 because you're always thinking, right? And there's always an extra amount of work you can do to make your product better. So this 9 to 5 concept with lawyers can't work, right? In the private sector or in the government. So, but I don't even know how to describe it, but there was a lack of a sense of direction and respect. And I want to bring that back. I want to inspire people. I want to make them be the best lawyers, make them be the best legal advisors to the government that they can be. And then after that level, the various people that work in the different ministries, departments of the ministry, I hope to inspire them as well to be, you know, to want to work to see their work as important. You know, there's a selflessness involved in working for government. You are doing, no matter whether you're sweeping the floors or if you're giving advice to the minister, you're doing a service to everyone in the country.
Yes.
And I want everyone to have that sense of pride when they work in the civil service. That, you know, so that's what we're going to try as a government collectively, to try and inspire people to be the best. Not just lime on the street and not be in office and certain things that used to happen. We want to improve that.
Each one.
That's great. Well, there you go. Well, you got the final word, Mr. Attorney General. Pleasure catching up with you. Thank you so much for.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Do come again.
I enjoy it.